Hello everyone, this is your girl Doreen again. I am back here to speak about the same usual thing. We are going to continue talking about mental health, and we are going to discuss further on some of the ways we can improve our lives as we improve our mental health. And welcome to my channel. Like, share, subscribe, and even let your friends know about this channel so that we can learn together and we can grow together. So today I'm going to speak about this controversial topic. I remember this topic and sometimes I feel like laughing because it is something that has made me who I am today. It has protected me, yeah, to some point, but honestly it really damaged my view of life, my view of the society, because I grew up with the desire and then the need to be perfect and to be this holy person, but at the end of it I ended up becoming something that I didn't want to become, and I became this closed off person who couldn't relate or talk to anyone. I remember most of my childhood I was brought up by family members, by my mother's cousins and sisters, and rarely did I find myself spending so much time with her. So yeah, it was amazing because they loved me. My mother loved me. Whatever time she had, she spent with me. But as I grew older, I ended up taking some of the notions that these people had that were not very good, that were not entirely the best things to even take up as a child. One of the things that happened was how I viewed men. I know this is going to sound crazy, but as I grew up, I was around people who really did it out of love, out of care, out of concern, but it really damaged me. It made me hate men so much, so much, to a point that I couldn't even imagine having a man in my life. Like, anytime a person, or any, even through campus or part of my adulthood after campus, anytime that anyone would try to reach out to me to tell me they loved me, I would take it, yeah, you're telling me you love me just because you want to use me. You're telling me you love me just because you want to take advantage of me. I never felt that a man could love a woman truly, sincerely. I felt like I have grown up feeling like they do it with an hidden motive. Yeah, there's some who do it with an hidden motive, but for me, I was overfed with this information. In school, I remember we were taught a lot about these issues, and I believe our teachers also do it from a very clean, loving perspective, and intention, but most of the time there are children who take your words as they are. Let's say if you tell them they shouldn't even interact with boys or men, or even talk to men, they will do exactly what you've told them. And for me, because at an early age I had been told to strictly obey what I had been told, I did exactly that. And I won't lie to you, it is one of the most damaging things in the society. And I know, yeah, we do it from a very loving perspective, but it is also important for us, as we do that, as we teach our girls to take care of themselves, it's also important for us to teach them on how to approach matters, relationships, because you find that you will I was listening to a podcast, and that is how this thing clicked in my mind, and I was like, yeah, it is very, very true that most of the successful women and most of the high scorers in school, struggle a lot with relationships and marriage and whatever, not because they don't know how to love, not because they don't know how to take care of a man or how to keep their families together. And again, I'm not saying that but wanting to mean that it is the work of a woman to take care of a family. No, it takes two to tango. But most of us who are high achievers and high scorers, especially in high school, those who went to the high schools that are mostly national schools, and these schools that are, what can I say it, that perform so well, the girls' schools that perform so well, they beat off the idea of a man in you. So you don't grow up even imagining that you'll ever even get married or date. Even dating sometimes pisses you off. It might sound like something disgusting or something that really, how could you do that? Like, how can I even date? I don't even need a man. I can do everything by myself. But the way we are made human beings is that sometimes, no matter how hard you might fight it, you will always find yourself in the hands of a man if you're a woman. Sometimes, like as you grow older, you will find yourself falling in love. You will find yourself wanting to have your children. And of course, if you have children, you will not want your child not to grow up with a dad. But we are not taught on how to handle these men. Mark you, these are men who are also very high achievers that maybe we end up with. But we have this notion that has been fed to us from a very young age, that the moment you entertain a man, not even as sexually or as a lover, the minute you have male friends, that is the end of your life. That is the end of your future. So yeah, it is a topic that I think we should continue talking about and being very clear, like let the child know the boundaries, how far they can go, but do not feed them with the information that men are bad. Again, we are having boys as our children. Who do you want them to be with? Do you want them to have people who do not really know how to handle them, and then marriages continue breaking? Also, you've seen this, I think this is also an issue whereby you see there's a high rise in femicide because there's the very high, I think, to a toxic level whereby women are being fed very negative views about men. So at the end of it, you find that men do not know how to handle this woman who is empowered, who is able to take care of herself, who can raise her own children by herself. And still that woman wants you to be there for them, wants you to be the dad, wants you to be a strong man, wants you to stand up for them. But they have already stood up for themselves in ways that you thought you were supposed to, help. But now, as a man, that is, but now we end up being in a situation where these men also don't know how to handle these women who are high achievers. Not that the men are not high achievers, but they do not know how to handle a woman who is up there, who has power, who has the capacity to tell them that they don't need them anymore. So this man spikes up with emotions and anger, and they end up killing the woman most of the time. And there's also the thought of where you find that there are so many single ladies who are alone, not because they are bad or anything. In fact, they are the most loving people, but you realize that they were fed so many negative things about men, to a point that when they, no matter how much someone intends to be nice to them, they still feel that this person has a very hidden motive. Therefore, it is important for us to include these topics, because these are the things that are affecting our society right now, because especially the millennials. Oh my god, I think those are the people who had it hard whenever they even like had friends who are men. It is so crazy. Me, I remember this day where my mom used to have a shop, and she brought me, she stima zikapotea, and she sent someone to buy a candle, one of the men that had a pool around the place we were having a shop. So the guy came, brought us the candle, and then he told us this is he just said you can actually place the candle in that space, in the place you put the candle, and then you cover it with glass. It's going to let like steamer. I'm telling you, I remember I didn't even hear what, I had not even heard what you were saying. I was in, let me tell you how crazy it was for me. I was in class 8. I rudely responded to this guy, and he was left wondering like, what did he do? What did I say that made you respond so badly to me, so negatively? I think I just spoke some very mean words to him. Not because I was a mean child, by the way, but because I thought that any guy that speaks to me is going to make me pregnant or something. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's crazy, and let us teach children not to be very aggressive against the other gender. Let them know that they are part of the society and they are meant to grow and live together. Yeah, and even if mistakes happen, let us not make it appear as if it is entirely the man's problem, the man's mistake. I know sometimes we tend to overlook some issues. I remember there's a time I was watching some movie about, it is an LGBTQ movie, but there was an episode where a guy had made a girl pregnant, and the guy was put on record on he had a criminal record just because he made someone was less than 18 years old pregnant. Mark, the guy was 19, the girl was 17. There's no big age difference here. The only place the age difference is noticeable is that there is, this one is of age, this other one is not of age. But thinking about it, a 17-year-old girl and a 19-year-old boy, they are almost the same age. They are both responsible for the action. Like, the girl wasn't raped, she agreed to it. So most of the time, even this is also creeping up into our society, you realize that the men are being blamed a lot for everything, and they don't have an outlet. And imagine a man who is married to a girl who is empowered, who is able to do everything, and she can't listen, she can't hear anything that the guy is saying. Not even like having to be humble, but conversing, they can't talk. This girl always feels like that she is the one who should be listened to, and she doesn't want to listen. You realize we create so much negativity in ourselves and among the people we stay with, to a point that they are not able to deal with the issue, to a point that some things such as femicide come up, and divorce, being single, yeah, things that can be worked out by simple words like I'm sorry. Yeah, so I think one of the things that we need to do as a society is, and as parents, right now I'm speaking to parents, is that you really need to teach your child on how to handle relationships with the opposite gender. Teach him or her, let him understand that It is okay, and relationships are not bad, but they are supposed to be at the right time. And it's okay to have friends who are men. It's okay to have friends who are girls. But these are the boundaries of how far it can go, it should go. And even if we push them away from each other, let me tell you, nature has its way of putting things back to order. They will end up in each other's hands, and in this situation it might be not what you like. Just allow your child to grow normally. Okay, so parents, kindly let us not forget this sector as we speak to our children, as we push them to be better in school, push them to be better in life. Let us also help them to handle relationships well, and let us not paint negative images about the other person just because they are a different gender. Let them feel at home, let them feel as part of the society, and let them be painted in a positive way. Again, as we said in the previous video, what we think is what becomes of us. So guys, let us only think of the positive, and even if your friends or your children are acting in a way that you don't like, continue thinking positively about them and help them to become better. But let us teach our children about relationships. So guys, see you in the next video, and I want to kindly request you to like, share and subscribe my videos to my videos. See you in the next one. Bye. Ciao.